In this video, we're going to discuss external factors. So external factors are very similar to internal factors, the only difference being that they are outside the business. So these are factors that can influence the way the business operates from outside the organisation. The first external factor we're going to look at is political. So political relates to the government. Anything at all that is law related and set out by the government could influence how your business operates. When identifying an external factor, there are some key words that will always appear. Laws, legislation, government, parliament are all words that could come up for political. If you see these words in a case study and it asks you to identify an external factor, political is the external factor you're going to identify. Now, if a government puts in place new legislation that changes the way your business operates, it may mean a multitude of things. Perhaps they might put in place a living wage as opposed to a national minimum wage, meaning that you'll have to pay your staff more, and as a result your costs will go up and perhaps you won't be able to keep the same number of staff on. Or, in the past, when the 5 pence per bag rule was put in place, businesses had to change the way they charged things and had to adjust to that. So these are political factors influencing the way business operates. Our second external factor is economic. And as the picture in the background suggests, economic relates to money. But it's not just money, but largely it's to do with money. So it's how the economy is doing. So when you see the words finances, unemployment, recession, money, tax, or boom, these are all economic terms. So if you're doing a case study and asks you to identify the external factors, these words would suggest that it was an economic factor. So if unemployment goes up in the UK, it means that people are more likely to have less disposable income, and if people have less disposable income, they're less likely to buy your products. And it's a bit of a nasty cycle from there, because if they're not buying your products, then you're going to have less sales, which means you'll have less profits, and you'll potentially look to reduce your staff numbers, which increases unemployment. So it's a bit of a vicious cycle. The economy goes through booms and busts. So for example, at the moment, we're in a bit of a recession because we've had the coronavirus and sales have slowed for a lot of business. However, we may see a bit of a boom when we find a vaccine for the coronavirus and we can get back to normality. To an extent, we may see a huge influx in the economy as people will be out spending again. Our third external factor is social. And as you'll gather from the picture in the background, it's all to do with people. And it's people's interests, it's people's trends, it's what people are buying and paying for. So if you see any of these keywords, fashions, trends, population, demographics, these are all words that point to a social external factor. And it could be, for example, products that come into fashion. So you'll have different clothes at different points of the year based on people's social events and their social calendar. You'll also see the social community and the population will have changing interests. So at the moment, for example, because of the issue we're having with the coronavirus, people are required legally to wear masks. And then you've got people who don't want to settle for a basic mask. So the trend at the moment is people who are buying fancy face masks. So businesses will try and cash in that. And it might mean that they're buying less of other clothes as they're not going out as much. So they might be buying face masks where previously they've been buying nice dresses. So it can change and impact things hugely. And again, another social issue is homelessness. And if we have a lot of homelessness in the UK, then again, it can impact the value of property and it can impact the way businesses operate if there are homeless people on the street. So there are huge people-based issues that can impact how the business operates. Our next external factor is technology. Now I know what you're thinking, this was also an internal factor, but when it's an internal factor we're talking about the technology the business has. When it's an external factor we're talking about the advancements of technology out with the business. So advancements made by competitors and advancements made that are on offer that would allow you to do your business better, or potentially allow a rival competitor to do their business better. So as technology advances more and more, there are more opportunities for businesses to upgrade and for you to reach out to your customers in different ways. For example, the first iPhone came out in 2007, and that completely changed the way customers accessed the internet and that they managed their day-to-day life. As a result, businesses had to adapt to that and create apps that could be downloaded to get a new way to access their customers. Our fifth external factor is environment. So the environment is the world around us. It can relate to the weather, it can relate to climate change, recycling, you might see words like eco-friendly, anything that relates to the natural world itself that is happening that can impact business as an environmental factor. So the most commonly given answer for this kind of question when you're asked to describe an environmental impact is you could say the weather changing could impact deliveries. If the weather's particularly bad, like when we had Beast from the East, for example, companies may not be able to deliver to customers. As a result, the customer may be unsatisfied or may not get their goods on time. Factor is competitive. So this relates to all the other businesses in your market. You're looking out for keywords like pricing, market share, offers, rivals. So anything that suggests that you're competing with someone. And it could be a competitor might lower their prices, meaning that you might lose sales to them. So as a result, you might need to respond by either reducing your prices or offering something extra to entice customers back. So when competitors make moves in the market, it will impact the way that your business operates as well. So that is our 6 external factors: political, economic, social, technology, environment, and competitive. PESTEC. Political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and competitive. This is an acronym that we use for external factors. So if you ever see the words external factor, think PESTEC.